You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for January 4th, 2019. Friday morning, folks. Got a couple of things we want to go over here. Again, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We know your time is valuable. We try to bring you tidbits of important information surrounding certain things going on right now, and just to bring some light into it, just to bring clarity sometimes, right? And then again, you're going to look at these articles, use your discernment, you're going to do your own little bit of research and try to verify it, all right, in your own right, with your own dots connected, lots of facts put into play, and sometimes things that aren't fact and things that are honestly wrong. And that's just part of looking at lots of information and doing your due diligence. All right, you're going to look at a lot of wrong things. In the intelligence community, it's the same thing. You're going to listen in on a lot of phone calls, look at a lot of emails, look at a lot of information. And unfortunately, you have to, because you have to get the broad picture of what's being discussed or what's happening, and be able to find out the real deal information. Okay, again, I want to take a minute to think about and talk about the tribunals, military tribunals, or more so, if we look in the past to executive orders that presidents have put into law, why is that? And typically they go into effect immediately. Typically they are there because they are having a hard time getting things passed or done, so they just go straight to an executive order. And typically that would go into effect that day. Did it create something? Did it create a new entity that funding needs to come to? Typically, if you look in the past, I'm talking Obama administration, Bush, Clinton, and you can keep going back. And we have been looking at some of those just to see how and what they were for, and were they ever executive orders just put in for no reason, just to have them there. That would be the case with Trump. Why would he put in human rights abuse and taking all the property away from somebody? If you're found to be involved in these, human trafficking or rights, just human rights abuse in general, very spectrum is covered. A vast spectrum is covered. The enhancements to the military court martials, did that back in March, didn't come into effect until a couple days ago. What was the reason for that? Was that because you wanted this 8 months of time frame to come to some of the people that you're coming to secretly, and they're, you're going to be able to hold them accountable in a different way after January 1st? But if you go down for it now, we're under this old system. We're going to look into all that, not for today, just for another episode, but those are some of the things that we're looking into with all the talk on martial law, and is it really happening? What's going on? Of course, folks, we just want to touch base on that. So again, let's get into this article here. It's interesting. All right, this is off the Able Danger Global. All right, they have a decent.org website. The would-be assassins of POTUS at the real Donald Trump were part of an elite at USMC guard unit that apparently went rogue and was being paid to do this as mercenaries hired by the FBI. Wow. Notice and demand X3 PDF file here. Okay. So this article is linked. Notice and Demand X times 3 by Anna von Reitz. The would-be assassins of President Trump were part of an elite military guard unit that apparently went rogue and was being paid to do this as mercenaries hired by the FBI. The FBI, along with other well-known alphabet soup agencies, including BLM, all right, now that's like the Bureau of Land Management, I believe, not Black Lives Matters, is owned and operated by the for-profit corporation calling itself the government of the United States. This is what they go by. We can see by the manner in which the name of the organization is styled that it is Municipal United States Corporation, and one of those being liquidated for criminal activity as a franchise of the United States Incorporated, Inc. All right, this is kind of, if you delved into the past at all, Timothy McVeigh, possibly, he talks about, if you dig deep enough, and some of the great different articles out there that, when he went to special forces training for the Army, that he was pulled aside, all right, and ended up quitting that, and he was sheep dipped, and he went to work with a rogue group of the FBI under their direct, it's they told him it would be, black ops. It's inside United States and outside of the continental, foreign and domestic, that he had things to do. It was for the betterment of the country. And would he sign on? And he sure did, possibly. That's how the story goes. So let's keep going here. Now, the interesting question is, who are the members of the board of the shareholders and the comptrollers, all right, of this entity doing business as the government of the United States? We know that they were directly involved in the murder of American state citizens, including the travesties of Ruby Ridge, Waco. There we go. So we're getting in. And if you look into those, all right, Ruby Ridge, Waco, and then I would put in WTC, Oklahoma, all right? Those were the same. The FBI guy, I can't remember his name, but he was in charge of them then. He was in charge of them in Waco, and he was working with the whole McVeigh thing. And more recently, the ambush and murder of Lavoy Fincom. We know that they have been orchestrating the activities of both the FBI and the, is it Black Lives Matter? Or Bureau of Land Management. So that there was a conflict of interest inherent in the FBI's actions from the start of the occupation of the wildlife refuge in Oregon. So I think that is the Bureau of Land Management. It would seem the identification of arrest of these criminals and shutting down their corporations for criminal activity should be job one, except that they are already in liquidation as municipal franchises of the United States, Inc., and don't have a contract and are supposed to be shut down entirely for a period of 90 days. Does this mean that the perpetrators get away with everything? Just do another presto changeo, alter the spelling or order or style of their corporate name and keep on skating? I don't think so. Pope Francis, this is your bailiwick. You ordered the liquidation of the United States, Inc. Thank you very much. And now may we impose on your good graces to take further administrative action along with the members of the Curia. We would like those individuals responsible for the mismanagement of the government of the United States to be identified and permanently denied the privilege of creating, operating, shareholding, or profiting in any manner from any incorporated entity again. Otherwise, all we accomplish is a diabolical revolving door operation in which the same criminals choose a new name, reincorporate under a different banner, and go right on acting as protected criminals. The privilege, as privilege it is, to form a corporation and profit from a corporation should be universally denied to felons who have committed crimes of state, murder, kidnapping, and genocide. While we are at it, we would also like to request the permanent liquidation and return of assets of the Northern Trust Organization, which have been running both the IRS and the bar associations. This, too, has been a source of abject misadministration and criminality, and the individuals responsible need to be identified and denied all commercial privileges going forward. One of the delightful parts of the English language is the realm of collective nouns, words used to describe a group as opposed to individuals. Thus we have a herd of cattle, an ascension of larks, a piddle of puppies, a murder of crows, and a gaggle of geese. I am unaware of any official collective noun applying to the species of middlemen, but I submit the suggestion that they henceforth be known as plague of middlemen, and identified as a group opposed to life on this planet and accordingly slated for eradication. We are living in a world which organizations created for the public good have forgotten their obligations to the public they are supposed to serve, and from which they ultimately, I'll bet, through a string of middlemen, receive their own sustenance. A final word on the attempted assassination of President Trump. It is no mistake that this was promoted via members of the Marine Corps. Like the U.S. Navy, the Marine Corps was born in a state of protracted conflict of interest, compromised by a command structure ultimately controlled by the British monarchs, and not, except while in home ports, controlled by the American government at all. This is why the Marine recruits have traditionally, but perhaps no longer, been obligated to shout, "I am an American," every day of boot camp to impress this fact upon them forever afterward, and to hopefully command their understanding of where their loyalties ultimately lie. With the American states and people, not with the U.S. corporations like the FBI doing business under deceptive names. Pope Francis, now that the municipal corporations no longer have a contract, nor for the matter any legal right to exist, we, lawful head of state of government, owed the United States of America, unincorporated, claim their assets and direct to their personal disband, cease and desist operations. We deny them any use of our delegated powers to reorganize, rename, or reshuffle their assets to successor organizations, and deny them any option to resurrect their criminal enterprises via the abuse of our delegated powers. We seize upon their names, trademarks, corporate copyrights, and all other assets, material and immaterial, in the name of the priority creators, and the American states and people doing business as the United States of America, unincorporated. We, the lawful government of this country, deny them any right, privilege, or honor to create, operate, share, hold, or profit from any incorporated entity, to call upon you and the Roman Curia to enforce our determination and this declaration of notice and demand, repeated here 3 times, to include all the jurisdictions and to dispel and liquidate all these criminal incorporated entities, to bar any further participation responsible parties in the commercial privileges. 1 time. So times 2, and then times 3. So she repeats that 3 times. Most sincerely, James Clinton, Anna Marie. So this is interesting. Read a few of these comments here. Great to see you posting Anna Von Rantz. Her 1,400 plus essays are a must read for patriots and woke crowd. She publishes at least a couple each week and all right on target. There's more going on with young Marines shout in the barracks, but like this letter is a bit of a stretch. I won't call anyone a lunatic, but I will for sure file this away and see if anything develops. So they were saying the USMC was directly responsible for responding to the president. They said Mueller was a Marine, and that would be on Trump's side. I knew this was total BS. Our military is run by crooks too. All right. Again, this is just an article here. I mean, we gotta definitely wait for things to unfold, folks. I don't like to rush to any conclusions without looking at a lot of things. So that is quite shocking. And is it true? Well, I'm not going to go that far yet. I read it. Again, we're going to read a lot of things here in our quest for looking for the truth. So we got to hear these things, look at them, gives you an angle to think about. We wait for more evidence to stack on with it and what we can see. So has there been all these attempts on our president? At this point, it seems like there's been quite a bit. They don't get the mainstream talk like we're used to seeing on some of the other ones. In the past is what I'm talking about. So again, all right, we're at the 14.5 minute mark. I'll shut this one down. Look forward to more videos coming out here later on today through the Patriot Hour. Again, get subscribed, folks. Ring the bell. That way you can get alerted anytime we put out a video. I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed. And we'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video. Have a great morning into your afternoon.